Hello everyone, it's Johnny R here at Untitled Volkswagen Indianapolis, and it's still rabbit season because guess what? We got our very first Cornflower Blue Rabbit Edition GTI. So without further ado, let me flip the camera around and show you this beautiful paint that'll keep you looking back every time you park it and walk away. Now let's go. So of course, this is another Johnny R one shot with the 2019 GTI Rabbit Edition. Look at those beautiful black wheels, how they pop off of that blue paint from the Cornflower Blue. These are the exclusive 18-inch Pretoria Black alloy wheels that are actually very similar to the Golf R wheels that were available in years prior. Now, you know, here we've got an excellent lighting package here on the Rabbit Edition. Those are bi-xenon auto leveling headlights with LED daytime running lights and turn signals. You also get LED lights in the back. You've got black painted mirror caps, and you also have a black tip spoiler with an extra ridge on it. That's right, you have an extra lip spoiler for some extra sporty looks on the GTI Rabbit Edition. Now, you do get the Rabbit badge. However, it doesn't come on the car. You get it sent in the mail after you purchase it. So that means you can replace this nice red accented GTI logo with the Rabbit logo, or put the Rabbit logo on the side of it. Or, if you are a fan of symmetry, put it right over here on the right side of the vehicle. So just look at this absolutely beautiful paint. I can see why people were looking forward to seeing this color in person. Trust me, this camera is great, but you're gonna want to see this color in person. It really pops, especially in the sun, even in the shade, even at night. At all different light clarities, you're going to have a really beautiful dynamic paint. Now let's step inside this vehicle and show you some of the other things that make it different. Before we do that, I do want to point out that all 2019 GTIs do come with what used to be a performance package. So I'm zooming into these brakes here. That's right, you get the larger disc brakes that are straight off of the Golf R with the GTI logo on the front calipers, and of course they're painted red. You also get 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque out of this 2-liter turbocharged direct injected engine. It's the EA888. If you haven't heard of it, you might want to research it. It's won lots of awards for its power, potency, efficiency, and technology. I can nerd out on that in a separate video for you guys later. So as you can see here, on the 2019 GTI Rabbit Edition, you do get the Pure Heritage Clark Plaid seats up front, and you have them heated up front as well with power recline. You have the manual support for everything else, including lumbar support, including seat height adjustment, and sliding seat forward and back. So you step into the car here, we've got a few nice features. We have keyless entry with push button start. We have our infotainment system that's complete with AM and FM and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then if you come around here, you see you got a nice amount of space in this vehicle. Now, you guys might have known that my videos tend to end here. I kind of show you a few cool things about the vehicle, and then I kind of end it. Well, guess what I'm about to do? We're about to drive. That's right, let's spin up this little 2.0 and take it for a drive. So, this is going to be a little different for you guys, and it's a little different for me as well, but I wanted to show you guys how the GTI handles and how you can handle the GTI in turn. So here, I'm sitting in the GTI with the DSG transmission here that's going to allow for really smooth, snappy shifts, regardless if I'm just trying to mosey along in traffic or if I'm trying to make those passing maneuvers. I want to take us on my little back test drive route so you can see how the GTI handles, how it sounds from inside the cabin, and I'll go over some of the extra features and things that make the GTI special. So, starting off here, you can adjust the steering wheel up, down, in, and out, alright? And we do have some nifty paddle shifters behind the steering wheel to get this very responsive DSG to shift exactly when I want it to. So of course, the first thing about safety is being in a safe and comfortable driving position, making sure that we can see all the crazy people around us as we're driving, right? The Rabbit Edition does come with some driver assist features that does include the front assist system with autonomous emergency braking, and you also get blind spot monitors with rear traffic alert. That rear traffic alert is designed to detect vehicles. It can on occasion detect pedestrians, but it is not designed to do so. So let's strap in. Safety first. Lights are on automatic. It's pretty warm out, so I'm not going to turn the heated seats on. Our manual climate control is pumping out some warm air at a low pace to keep it nice and comfortable inside. Don't need to defog the mirrors. They're all good. So let's take her out for a drive. The first thing we're going to do is make sure the vehicle is in normal mode. You have different driving modes, which allows you to change up the parameters. So in normal mode, we're going to be seeing that everything is going to be, well, in normal, your baseline GTI performance. And then you have eco mode and a sport mode to take advantage of as well. We're going to go through all three so I can show you exactly how the GTI handles. So taking off here, putting the GTI in drive, we're going to go for a little ride. Here we go. Very smooth transition of power. Sounds very good, of course. And this is just a normal mode here. And it just kind of goes through the gears. Oh, and look, we got a truck pulling ahead of us here. I've got a really nice bend back here that's really great for feeling how the body roll is really minimized with the larger stabilizer bars that are in the GTI as opposed to any other type of Golf. It allows the vehicle to maintain a flatter turning surface so it can keep all four wheels with as much traction as possible on those tires. And of course, I did mention the snappy DSG transmission. A couple of taps to the left paddle here, and you're ready to hug a corner with some fun. And it goes in manual mode, stays in manual mode for a while until you leave it alone for about a minute or so. It'll then go back into regular drive mode, if of course you have your shifter still in the drive position. And there it goes. So it'll always go back to regular drive mode or sport mode if you've toggled into sport. So let's go over that. Not only do you have a sport mode for the computer itself, which actually change up the heft of the steering and throttle input and the transmission mapping, you can just change your transmission mapping on the fly by toggling your shifter, by pulling it back very quickly. And now we're in sport mode. What that means is it's going to be quicker to shift when you get to those shift points, which are higher on the RPM range, to get more power out of the engine. Now, this truck ahead of me is not letting me get very much power out of the engine, unfortunately. But hopefully when we get to my little S-curve path back here, I'll be able to show you exactly what I mean. And another thing about that performance package that you get standard on the GTI now is the XDS and VAQ system. So the VAQ system really overtakes the XDS because that's just purely electronic, using the ABS system to brake the inside wheel during a corner. But what the VAQ system does, not only will it brake the inside wheel, but it will also accelerate the outside wheel, further exacerbating the cornering prowess of the GTI. Let me show you what I mean. And sport mode is very intelligent. I can feel the XDS and VAQ working here. And then what you're also going to feel here, I'm going to have it in sport mode, a couple of taps to the left shifter. But the DSG will never overshift. It'll never undershift. It's not going to make you brake the vehicle, even if you're in manual shifting mode. It'll always downshift when you hit the low rev range, and it will always upshift when you hit the high rev range. Therefore, making sure that you do not cause any excessive wear or damage to your vehicle, but also so that you can get the maximum power and traction and performance out of the vehicle. And, you know, just in case you are making mistakes, the DSG can make up for it. So as you can see, I can keep my hands at 9 and 3, which is what race car drivers do. So 10 and 2, if that's what's comfortable for you, I suggest 9 and 3 because that's where the paddle shifters are. And it allows for very quick change of direction, especially with this adaptive steering system. Now, it's not too uncommon to see these in hot hatches, but you know the GTI is the hot hatch, which all of the others are benchmarked upon. So as we come around here, I'm going to switch us over into sport mode. So what that's going to do is going to make my steering even heavier. You already have a nice direct feel. It makes the steering heavier, also gives more sound of the engine into the cabin, also puts that VAQ in the sport mode, allowing for even quicker and even more precise cornering maneuvers. So really, this is the ultimate fun daily driver. I mean, it really doesn't let up that it's not all-wheel drive until the last second, until really you're pushing the car so hard that you really find out that those rear wheels aren't really hooking up. But the really good thing about that is that you get better efficiency from the front-wheel drive platform and lower weight, which is why some folks rather track a GTI rather than a Golf R. But hey, I am Johnny R and I still love my all-wheel drive. But I have a huge respect for what Volkswagen has done with the front-wheel drive platform here, especially with this MQB platform that just keeps getting better year after year. And really, the GTI and any Volkswagen is going to be right at home at 40 miles per hour, and just as well at home at 80 or 100 miles per hour because of this laser seam welding and the high installation of the doors and the nice welds. It just feels all put together. So here's this bend I was talking about. That's the VAQ doing its job. And then if you want to just shut off manual mode yourself, while in driver sport, press and hold the right side paddle, and boom, you go back to sport or drive, whichever one you were in. And I was in sport. We're going to go back to drive. I'm going to let this DSG do a little engine braking as we come back to the dealership for us. So the engine braking that the DSG uses, which if you drive manual, you may already be familiar with the tournament technique, that allows you to save your brakes. So really, you can end up saving these pads for a very long time. So we're pulling back into the parking lot here. And I really hope you enjoyed this little ride along with the GTI Rabbit Edition in the exclusive Cornflower Blue. This vehicle is absolutely beautiful. You got a standard backup camera, by the way, which does flip out of the rear emblem, which you use to get into the hatch. One of my favorite things. And very helpful. So there you have it. A nice drive of the 2019 GTI Rabbit Edition. You got to see some of the handling prowess and how that VAQ really keeps the car stable, even during a higher speed corner or bend. This allows for greater stability, greater comfort when driving